Week after week, many pastors pour every ounce of their energy into congregations, only to see the same faces and the same problems year after year. The effort is immense, but the water is simply swallowed by the cracks in the earth, leaving the landscape as dry as before. It's easy to assume a lack of growth means the leader needs to work harder, or that the message itself needs to be more polished. The disconnect lies in the environment. When a leader ignores the specific condition of the ground where the message lands, the most talented speaker in the world will still struggle to see a single life change. In the Gospel of Mark, Jesus presented the parable of the sower as the master key to ministry. He told his followers that if they didn't understand the mechanics of this story, they wouldn't be able to grasp how any part of the kingdom of God functions. To stop the cycle of burnout, leaders have to look past the seed of the gospel and start analyzing the 4 distinct types of ground. This process starts with a single farmer spreading one identical message. The variable isn't the seed, it's the 4 different environmental responses it encounters once it hits the soil. On the path, the heart is hardened. The message never even penetrates the surface before it's stolen by Satan. There is no growth because there was never any entry. The rocky ground creates a deceptive burst of energy. An audience might respond with immediate emotional joy, but because they have no deep roots, the plant withers the second it faces the heat of persecution. Thorny ground allows for growth, but it's a crowded environment. Daily worries, the pursuit of money, and worldly desires eventually grow taller than the message, and it gets choked out before it can produce fruit. Then there is the good ground. These are people who hear, accept, and then do something the others cannot. They multiply. They turn a single seed into 30, 60, or 100 new ones. The success of the farmer depends entirely on the soil he chooses. Even the best seed is useless if it spends all its time on the path or among the thorns. In any large gathering, a speaker is naturally going to be standing in front of all 4 types of ground simultaneously. Modern ministry often focuses on the first 3. Leaders spend the majority of their time trying to soften the path, remove the rocks, or pull the weeds for people who aren't ready to change just to keep the room full. Jesus worked differently. He often walked away from massive crowds to find a single person who was ready. He didn't try to manage the behavior of the 3 unproductive soils. He looked for what he called a person of peace. This is someone whose heart is already open, like Lydia in the book of Acts, and who is ready to take the seed and run with it. Real movement happens when a leader stops trying to please the crowd and starts investing in the few people who represent the good ground. This forces us to look at the current state of our churches. Many pews are filled with people in categories 2 and 3, people who enjoy the music or the community, but who never actually produce fruit. This happens because a feel-good message naturally attracts rocky and thorny soil. It feels nice in the moment, but it doesn't require the deep roots necessary for multiplication. To find the right ground, you have to change the seed. You have to preach a message of take up your cross, one that requires sacrifice and commitment. A difficult message acts as a filter. It repels the people who are only there for the comfort, while attracting the rare good ground individuals who are willing to pay a price to follow. This shift is painful. When you change the message, people will leave. A leader must be willing to watch the crowd shrink in order to find the few who will actually grow. The math of the kingdom is simple. 1,000 people in thorny ground will produce 0 fruit, no matter how much you water them. But 12 people in good ground, the kind Jesus chose, can multiply into thousands. By focusing on the fertile few, you stop working for the crowd and start building a movement.